Guys, so today I'm going to be showing you some default plant squads and how to default in general on Fracture. Someone left a comment in my last video asking for this. I thought it was actually a really good idea. So yeah, remember to subscribe, please. Join my Discord, and yeah, that's going to be about all I'm going to ask for.
Just promise you'll dance at my funeral, okay? My oath's ready.
So basically, if you guys don't know what defaulting is or what default plant spot is, or what that means, then you're probably slightly lower rank. I wouldn't be surprised if people in gold didn't know all the default plant spots, but I expect people that are plat and higher to know all the default plant spots for pretty much every map. I had to think about the default plant spots for this map for a second because it's kind of new. But every other map I know I know the default plant spots like the back of my hand. So yeah, we'll talk about defaulting, like what that means in a second. But I'll show you guys the default plant spots here real quick first. So for A site, generally I see most players plant like right here in this area. The reason this is like so good is because you can play tower like this, and you can just, you know, fight like this. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff over here. You don't have to worry about killing people or dying from there. All you have to do is just defend the spike right here once it's down. And you do have to, of course, worry about this. I'm not sure if this is actually considered a default plant spot, but I'm pretty sure it is. The only other place I've seen someone plant is like back here. Which I don't see why you wouldn't just I don't see like the huge advantage of planting here, so I would just suggest planting over here for the most part on this map or on this site. And we'll go ahead and go to A site. Default plant here is generally in this corner. This is good because whenever you come A, usually come from A main. Like the majority of your team comes from A main or hall or whatever you call this. Some people will come from dish side, but you don't plant for dish because this is like very like awkward. This is useful because you can shoot it from A main. You don't have to peek until someone taps it. You can also sit over here and you can't see it, but like, you know, no one can get there. As long as your team's A main, they can't get there unless they come through here or come through here. So this is really a good spot for you to be planting the spike. I've also seen people plant kind of just naturally behind here. If you're gonna plant behind here, do it behind this side because this will be spammed right here. So you don't want to plant behind this because you're gonna die through this. But if you plant behind this, where you can't be shot through this, this is also an okay plant spot. This is not default though. I'd suggest planting there if you're going to try to plant for your team. You can also plant up top. It's not like very common, but you can plant up here. You can also be spammed through up here. It's quite risky. You can plant back here is probably the safest spot, but yeah. So these are going to be the two default spots for this map. Now we're going to talk about defaulting, or it's also known as like playing picks. A lot of you guys might have somewhat of an understanding of what this means, or maybe like a slightly incorrect understanding of what this means. But so I'm going to go ahead and explain exactly what it means. So defaulting is whenever you spread out, usually all across the map on attack, specifically on attack side. You spread out with your team to get with the main goal of getting picks or of getting kills. So whenever you want to push a site, your team usually groups and say you want to go B, you're gonna either hard push all out B main or you're gonna split B main and arcade. This is just a normal take. Defaulting would be you have like two people B main, two people A main, then you have someone lurking on this side of the map wherever they want to go, or you have one person here, one person here, one person everywhere, and then an extra person stacked with like someone else. Generally on this map, you'd stack, if you're gonna stack two somewhere, you'd put two toward A main or B main, just because these are the two most heavily defended areas and it's the hardest to get in usually. And then arcade and dish are usually less guarded and a little more guarded with like Cypher Cam or Killjoy stuff, at least on toward A or toward B. A is a little less defended just overall toward dish. So if we're talking about defaulting on this map specifically, another thing that makes up defaulting is not overcommitting. You're not trying to take control of the site. All you're trying to do is get kills. So you don't have to position yourself very far at all. You have to think, if I'm defaulting arcade alone, or with someone, it doesn't really matter. You have to think, okay, can I get a kill here? Can I be exposed to an enemy yet? Because like obviously this is a little different. What I'm if I'm attacking with the intent of taking control of the site, it's different than if I'm just attacking to get a pick. Because if I'm just trying to get a kill, I'm thinking, okay, can someone peek me from here? Yes, they can peek me from there, from here, from here, from here. And you can just sit here and wait for a second, because it's pretty common for people to peek from up here. If you want to attack the site, you want to keep moving up because you want to move toward the site. But if you just want to kill, you can just sit here and wait. And you don't need to think of if you're going to take control of the site or not, because all you need is the kill. If you get the kill, then you can think, okay, should we go A site or should we go B site? And you can ask your team, or you can just tell your team. Say you get a kill B. If I get a kill B, I say, okay, guys, as soon as I get the kill, I'm like, all right, guys, let's go A. Let's go A, let's go A. Because what this does is it applies pressure toward B. The enemy team is going to naturally start moving off of A and go B. And this is one of the biggest advantages outside of just getting a kill of defaulting. And other things this does is it helps you become less predictable. So say I did this play. Also, say they don't peek you here very much. So you like to run up here and see if someone's peeking you right here or right here. You get the kill there, and then you can call to go rotate A. So I'll go ahead and show you guys another place we can default, or another way we could default without sometimes you're gonna die when you default, but that's fine. So a common angle that's held here on defense is right here. So you can peek this, go for a kill. This is still technically defaulting. Like unless pretty much your whole team is ready to push A and they're calling let's push A, then this is a default. You should assume that every time that you're starting around an attack is default, unless it's been said otherwise, or unless you've called specifically to push a site together to take it. So again, characteristics of this is that you should not be pushing up too far. Like you don't want to be pushing up all the way out here if you're just defaulting, quote unquote. Like generally I wouldn't go past here when you're defaulting, just because this is as far as you're gonna go, without like running into like corners the enemies are just straight up sitting in, like hiding. And that's obviously gonna be unfavorable for you to do as a one-man army. So for B main, if we're defaulting, we can just hard swing this, but be careful of an Opera Vandal. I like to just kind of walk up like this sometimes. And then you can just see if someone's holding this. From here, I wouldn't walk up past like this corner, or this right here. I wouldn't walk past this, because this is where Cyphers have their trips. It's where Killjoy has their nanoswarms, like here, and then they have an alarm bot with it. So you can peek like this. See if anyone's giving you a kill or not. And yeah, so this is how I default here. The only place I have not showed you guys is Dish, and Dish is very weird, but it actually can work on attack, honestly. I would actually only go Dish if you're either splitting A or defaulting. I would never go Dish if you want to push A as like 5 from Dish, because that's just absolutely not going to work, in my opinion. But it could, I mean, it might, but it's just unlikely. So what I would do here is go like this. I've shown this before. You just kind of have to expect either side. Actually, the last time I played this map, I was looking like this, and there's actually a breach right here. So you have to make sure that you look all the way there. And then from here, once you get all the way up, this is where you don't want to go past here pretty much, because people will be watching this. You just have to catch them off guard and try to find someone that's not expecting you. Because like a lot of people will be sitting here and probably lower ranks, and they won't expect you to have an angle on them. So this is defaulting. I could show you guys other maps if you want, but basically all you're doing, it's only on attack side. All you're doing is you're not playing too aggressive. You probably want to tell your team that you're just, if they don't understand what defaulting is, you can just tell them that we're playing for kills or playing for picks. And you don't want to go past like this in A main, you want to go past this, you don't want to go past like probably here or here for arcade, you don't want to go past here for B main. So yeah, this should be quite helpful if you're, especially if you're a duelist, you're struggling on attack, you feel like you might have a really good defensive half, and you're struggling on attack because you don't really know what to do. This will help you tremendously if you try to just be a little more patient. Try to play so that they peek you on defense, and if they're not peeking you at all, you're gonna have to swap up the strats, of course. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Merry Christmas, by the way. I forgot to say that, but I have the matching green and red gun. So yeah, you guys have a Merry Christmas. I'll talk to you guys later.